What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with reactions to the classics, and today we got a reaction to Robbie Williams' top 10 songs, brought to us by my friend, longtime supporter, and patron of the channel, Richard. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out that Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the end screen. We couldn't do it without the patrons. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, or check out some of the other tiers. We can do some cool stuff with you. Song battles, song reactions, a top 10 list of your very own album reactions, you name it. You can get a free trial, so go check that out. Well, a few months ago, Richard brought a top 10 list of Take That. Now, I live in the United States, so I knew absolutely nothing about Take That because they did absolutely nothing in the US. I mean, they had one little hit, but they're gigantic, obviously, in the UK, and you're probably watching this in the UK. Robbie Williams is very similar, except I mentioned in that top 10, I was a huge Robbie Williams fan in the early 2000s. Somehow, I had Escapology. I don't know how I came across the CD. We'd spin it all the time. And I loved Robbie, but then he just never really released a lot of other stuff in the US. And before streaming music, you couldn't really get your hands on it. So when I did the Take That top 10, I went back and watched the Robbie Williams Netflix documentary. And then lo and behold, Richard brings this top 10. So I'm so stoked for this. If you're watching this and you don't live in the UK, you might not know who he is. He's an English singer-songwriter. He found fame as a member of the pop group Take That from 1990 to 1995, launching his solo career in 1996. Now I'm going to start spouting off a bunch of figures here because his acclaim is unbelievable. His discography includes 7 #1 UK singles, and all but one of his 14 studio albums has reached #1 in the UK. 6 of his albums are among the 100 best-selling albums of all time in the UK. 2 of them are in the top 60. And he gained a Guinness Book of World Records in 2006 for selling 1.6 million tickets in a single day during his Close Encounters tour. He's received a record 18 Brit Awards, winning Best British Male Artist 4 times, Outstanding Contribution to Music twice, an Icon Award for his lasting impact on British culture, 8 German Echo Awards, 3 MTV European Music Awards. In 2004, he was inducted in the UK Music Hall of Fame after being voted the greatest artist of the 1990s, according to the British Phonographic Industry, BPI. He's been certified for over 21 million albums, almost 10 million singles in the UK as a solo artist. 5 of his albums have also topped the Australian charts. He sold over 75 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling artists of all time. He also topped the 2000 to 2010 UK Airplay chart. His 3 concerts at Nebworth in 2003 drew over 375,000 people, the UK's biggest music event up to that point. After 15 years, Williams rejoined Take That in 2010 to co-write and perform lead vocals on their album Progress, which became the 2nd fastest selling album in UK chart history and the fastest selling record of the century at the time. The subsequent stadium tour, which featured 7 songs from Robbie's solo career, became the biggest selling concert in UK history when it sold 1.34 million tickets in less than 24 hours. In 2011, Take That frontman Gary Barlow confirmed that Robbie had left the band for a second time to focus on his solo career, although he stated the departure was amicable and that Williams was welcome to rejoin Take That in the future. It's a little different than the first time he left. I won't get into that. He's since performed with Take That on 3 different television appearances and collaborated with Barlow on a number of projects, such as the West End musical The Band. All right, I'm not going to have the music up in this video, but it'll be at a Vimeo link below, so click on that, follow along with me. Let's dive into it. And I do know some of these songs, maybe half of them, maybe not quite half. I do know this song. Let me entertain you from the Life Through a Lens album in 1997, his debut. 5th and final single, written by, of course, Robbie and Guy Chambers, went to #3 in the UK. Williams and Chambers were inspired to write a Who-esque song after watching the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus together. A fantastic, fantastic thing to watch. When we started writing the demo, there was a furious jungle beat underneath it. It was so hardcore, it got me very excited, Robbie said, and I still get excited listening to it now. It's not really heavy metal. It's more like camp rock opera. The lyrics are mostly innuendos and double entendre, telling the story of a man trying to persuade someone to cheat on their boyfriend with him. Although the sex of this person is never mentioned, they are addressed mon cher, which means my dear, only when referring to a male. In a 2010 interview, Williams was quoted as saying, quote, "An awful lot of gay pop stars pretend to be straight. I'm going to start a movement of straight pop stars pretending to be gay." All right, I'm going to have the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Richard. Let me entertain you. A fantastic way to start off the top 10, kind of kick us off with all that energy. The start of this song is just electric. The guitar work and then those keyboards just fire you through, right? Propels you through this song. The horns at the end, fantastic arrangement, great performance. And next up at number 9, from the Escapology album, Sexed Up. The fourth and final single is originally recorded for Natalie Imbruglia, that surprised me, who turned it down. 10 in the UK, written by Robbie and Guy Chambers. All right, Sexed Up, another wonderfully arranged song. I think is where we're going to have it. Professional musicianship and production on Robbie's stuff, man. Always so well done, always so well thought out. If you listen to him all the time, I don't know if you've thought about that, but compared to a lot of other music, it's definitely up there in the upper echelon just in production. I like this song. I knew this song. Well performed. I mean, who else can sing Screw You in such a nice way, right? So I knew those first 2 songs. I don't know this song. Let Love Be Your Energy from the Sing When You're Winning album in 2000. 4th single release, went to 10 in the UK. All right, Let Love Be Your Energy. A well-done song, different little vocal effects, things talking to us. At various points in it, interesting instrumentation on it. Guy Chambers is on reverse guitars, a Moog solo. You have a reverse bass, a piccolo trumpet. So that's got all that interesting arrangement that kind of brings you into the song and go, all right, what is this? Like every time I start to vibe with the song or maybe zone out just for a second, it brings you back in. So really well done. Great message to the song. Now we go, as you see below, to She's the One, a song that I do know off the I've Been Expecting You album in 1998, his second album. It's a song by British rock band World Party. It was written and produced by Carl Wallinger for World Party's 4th solo album, Egyptology in 1997, not Escapology. Song won a Novella Award in 1997. Robbie's version, in most countries, the song was released alone, but in the UK and New Zealand, it's released as a double-A single with It's Only Us. 4th single, became his second #1 single in the UK. Went on to win a number of awards around the world, including a 2000 Brit Award for British Single of the Year and British Video of the Year, and also won a Capital Radio Award for Best Single. Like, I'm pretty sure I know this song. All right, just a wonderfully done song. Have the orchestra on there. And once again, the production, Robbie sounds fantastic. Just a flawless performance. Really draws you in. It's only 4 minutes, 18 seconds, but it's so grand. It feels longer and more epic, right? They're up to another song I don't know, Shame, from In and Out of Consciousness. Greatest hits, 1990 to 2010. It's his second greatest hits compilation. The only single from the album. It marks the first time since Robbie left Take That he and Gary Barlow performed together. They also co-wrote and composed the song in less than an hour. It was inspired by their past troubled relationship, too, in the UK. What a well-done song, right? Lighter arrangement. I bet this was incredible at the time if you were a big fan of Robbie and Take That. They came out with a song so raw the way it's written. And Gary's on there, obviously, with Robbie at different times. But, of course, what a shame we never listened. I told you through the television, and all that went away was the price we paid. People spend a lifetime this way, and that's how they stay. Oh, what a shame. So never burying the hatchet, never settling the grudge. So they at least reconcile. And obviously, as I mentioned at the start, go on and make an album and tour together and are on good terms now, as far as I know. But fantastic, man. This is covered a lot in the Netflix documentary. One of the interesting things as we're halfway through this list I found is that Robbie Williams, at least at the time of this documentary, lived in Los Angeles, where no one knows who he is. Robbie Williams could walk around where I live in the United States and no one would bother him. Like almost anywhere he goes, I would bother him because I know who he is. But it's so weird. He has this much fame everywhere else in the world. He could walk around here in anonymity. I don't think there's many people who are really, really famous that could not be famous in only like one big place. I understand if you're a star in your own country, but he's a star everywhere, basically, except for here. So it's kind of a crazy thing I forgot to add at the start, or we're to the top half of the list. We got Candy from the Take the Crown album in 2012. Lead singles written by Williams and Gary Barlow, interpolating a riff from Eurodians by Turge Olsen. It was Williams' first UK #1 single since Radio in 2004. So 8 years later. It was deliberately produced in the style of other 2012 chart toppers in a calculated attempt to reestablish its presence in the UK charts. I'm going to have to rewind my head 12 years to see if this sounds like what that music did. It premiered on BBC Radio 1 just days before the station removed Williams from their playlist, deeming him no longer relevant to their target audience. That's cold. He claimed to be gutted by the decision, citing Radio 1 as a pop star's main oxygen. When the song reached #1 without Radio 1 airplay, The singer thanked the station who, quote, has supported me for a long, long time, and I'm very grateful to them. Oh, and I could still have number ones without them. He said of the track, it's a summer song, very similar in a vein to Rock DJ, about a girl who thinks she's great, and she might be, but she's a bit nefarious with her ways. Some songs take an age to write, and some songs just fall out of your mouth completely formed, and you don't have to think about it. I don't know why that fell out of my mouth and out of my brain at that particular time. It just did. In Germany, this song broke an airplay record for the most plays in a week. I've never heard this one, but now I'm looking forward to it. Candy, partway, like when the song, probably the first third of it, I'm like, this is a throwaway song. It's totally different than what we've heard so far. It's still well produced. It's immaculately produced, just in a different way. The musicianship and the grandness to it isn't there, but it's very catchy. And the longer it goes, the more it sticks in your head. And he said he wrote this about the girls he'd seen in Los Angeles. He'd been all around the world, basically trying to seduce men for gifts, right? That's where the horses are in the first verse. She got a lot of horses from different men. He's like, it just meant gifts from men. But yeah, I don't know what to do with that song. I don't know if it's going to end up on my favorites or not, but I'll tell you what, it is absolutely right here in my head. I could see why it broke that German airplay record. All right, next up, from the Sing When You're Singing album again in 2000, The Road to Mandalay. This was released as a double A side with Eternity, which is the fifth single off of this. It went to number one in the UK. Right, The Road to Mandalay has a French feel to it, obviously. And I did find a quote from Robbie. He said, my favorite on the album is this song. We started to write, I was doing this French television show. And because we're in France, I don't know, I just picked up on French vibes and started singing a French sort of melody. Save me from drowning in the sea, beat me up on the beach. And then it's turned out to be the most, for me, touching song that I've written. Everything I've ever stolen has been lost, returned or broken. No more dragons left to slay. It's one of those songs that you go, this is really sad, but it's dead positive at the same time. It took a little while to grow on me because it is so much different, but I do like the fact that it's diverse and different. Next up, from Escapeology. In 2002, we have Come Undone, written by Robbie, Boots Osted, Ashley Hamilton, and Daniel Pierce, second single, 4 in the UK. Lyrically tells the story of a life of fame unraveling in excess, featuring some wry observations from Robbie, including the telling lines of the song's bridge. Do another interview, sing a bunch of lies, tell about celebrities that I despise, and sing love songs. We sing love songs. So sincere. Come Undone. It's a fantastic song. It's a fantastic performance. It's got some great lyrics in there. Robbie said about it, so impressed, but so in awe. That's the dichotomy of me. I think it's another one of those songs where I just want to dissect a perception of myself. Because I'm scum and I'm your son is not to my family. I saw Tupac, shout out to Tupac, a lot of his stuff up on this channel, come out of a courtroom once. And he said, quote, you put me down. You say I'm this or that or the other. But I'm a product of your environment. And I'm still your son, America. That touched me. And I am England's son. And I'm not scum. But I felt like it. Next up at number 2. I think a lot of people would probably think this would be number 1, Angels Through Life Through a Lens in 1997, written by Robbie and Guy Chambers, based on an earlier song written by Ray Heffernan. Williams said he wrote Angels with Chambers about his aunt and uncle, while Heffernan said he wrote the first version in 1996 and finished it with Williams. Williams confirmed they recorded a demo with Heffernan, but said he rewrote the song significantly with Chambers. To avoid a lawsuit, Williams bought the song rights from Heffernan before it was released. He probably got a good deal on that. 4 in the UK, only 53 in the US. It's his best-selling single and the 34th best-selling UK single of the 1990s. It was voted the best song of the previous 25 years at the 2005 Brit Awards. And in 2005, Britons voted it the song they most wanted played at their funeral. It's been covered by artists including Jessica Simpson. I'm going to say something rude. I shouldn't, right? We're using artists liberally. I shouldn't have said that. David Archuleta, Beverly Knight, All Angels, Declan Galbraith, and Josh Groban. This song is absolutely fantastic. His only quote hit in America was Millennium. You know, this 53, I guess, is sort of their. This song is just a gorgeous song. All right, if you live in the UK, you're probably beyond sick of this song, and I get it. But it's nearly a perfect song. I don't really have much else to say about this. Like, it's fantastic. His best vocal performance so far on this list. I don't know that he could give any better of a vocal performance than that. And the content, just all of it. I like the guitar in there, which is his grand song, but then the guitar gives this great solo breakup in there, and then we build back up with the orchestra. It's It's super well done. There's a reason why it has all the accolades. You see number 1 down below, and I'm sure Richard has no regrets about putting this at number 1. It was so bad. I'm so sorry. I don't usually ever do stuff like that. No regrets from I've Been Expecting You in 1998. Second single, number 4 in the UK. Written by Robbie and Guy Chambers and features backing vocals from Neil Tennant of Pet Shop Boys and Neil Hannon of Divine Comedy. I have Divine Comedy up on the channel. In the UK, the song was released as a double A side with a cover of Adam and the Ants' Ant Music. Robbie says of this song, it's about feeling the sadness of a certain situation, which was Take That, you know. And I believe it encapsulates the overall sadness. It's not bitter having to go with them like I've done in the past. It was, I'm sorry for all of us in this situation. All right, No Regrets. Really good song. Totally see the subject matter after Robbie said it. Once you read the lyrics, you get, I know the no regrets part. I don't know the rest of the songs. I don't even know how I know that, but a good choice for number 1. Now I come to my favorite tracks, and it seems like Richard's, I particularly have a hard time with a lot of times with picking my favorite tracks. And something like this, you know, I mention this a lot of times, it's a top 10. Robbie has a ton of songs. Most of them I do not know, but he has a ton of songs. So a ton of material to pull into top 10 songs. Like, I'll wait to all the songs, and I haven't deleted a lot of them as I come to you and try to pick my faves. Honorable mentions, Let Me Entertain You. She's the one. Shame, and I Gotta Do It, Candy. And I gotta be honest with you, I'll probably go back and listen to that song because it was so catchy. Faves are gonna be the top 3. Come Undone, Angels, and No Regrets. Fantastic list. If you live in America, you're probably like, where's Millennium? Look, Robbie never had a top 40 hit in America. It's insane to me. He's one of the artists up near the top of the list of artists that were huge everywhere and never made it in the U.S., and I don't understand why, but a lot of times we are behind the times here in the United States. Let me know what you think of this list. What are your top 10 favorites, or what else would you have on here? What do you think should be number 1, 2, 3? Be respectful. This is very hard to put these lists together. Thank you to Richard once again, and until next time, guys, I will see you.